who has successfully transitioned from professional basketballer to co-founder of New Frontera, the company behind the Web3 AI agent, Agent Daredevil. Puke will now explore the Daredevil's playbook for creating impactful brand experiences in the modern era.
We on?
We on.
It's just us today, yeah? It's just us two?
Yes, this is my first time that I'm doing a side chat, actually. I'm doing
Is it really?
Yeah, it is really.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm pretty excited for this. It's just us, and we get to talk about ourselves and share some value to the community, obviously.
Yep.
But obviously, I'm really excited for this, man. Let's go. Let's do this.
For sure. I think like the topic of today is brand engagement.
Sure.
Don't need to suck. And I think like these days, especially walking around this conference today, I realized that majority of the conference don't emphasize a lot on creators.
Yep.
But when you come over to this, during the sign-up moment, I saw like you have passes that is just for creators. You have Creator Lounge where it's a podcast studio that everyone can just go there and film.
Sure.
And I realized that, hey, you know, in this country itself or even this conference, content creation has become a really huge thing. And obviously, last year I met you briefly.
Very brief.
Very
brief. Yeah, hot second.
Yeah, super brief. And I got to realize that you are doing a lot of wonderful and amazing stuff. So before I share my story, love for you to kind of share JD, Daredevil, where it comes from.
Age before beauty? Is that how we're going about things?
Beard before.
The beard before. Sure, however you want to take it, bro. No. Sure, you guys. So. You guys, thanks for being here and sharing your time with us here on stage. Hopefully, we can give you guys enough value through our lens, through our story, and hopefully, it can help you guys out in some way or some capacity. So a little bit about myself, really quick. My name is Jared Dillinger. I'm an ex-pro athlete here in the Philippines. I was born and raised in America. I started my tech, media, entrepreneur, business vibes around 2020. I worked in front of the camera, behind the camera. I had my own CNN show. I have the #1 sports podcast here in the Philippines. I used to work for Gala Games. Currently, at the moment, right now, have my own AI studio called New Frontera Corp. We run prediction markets with Agent Daredevil, like an Oracle companion. We partnered up with Sports Radar. They're the largest sports data provider in the world. That's kind of our MO. On the Access and Premium APIs and credits that we get through them. We also run a storm relief response agent called Agent Aries. In our country here in the Philippines, flooding, disaster, lack of budgeting from the government per se is very non-existent. So as a society, as people, as citizens, we're trying to figure out ways how to counter that. So we're trying to be the spearhead on showing people that you don't need a big budget, you don't need a big team. You can still help your community, your society, utilizing AI and blockchain. That's kind of the MO. So how about you, Puke Rainbow? Please, can you, I hate talking about myself. It's the cringiest thing ever. Please, can you just join me on this?
Yeah, for sure. So hi guys, my name is Puke. I run Pukecast. So the story of Pukecast is actually a bit amazing because I went to this one conference, and during that time, it was just me creating content, doing spaces every single day. So I told myself, hey, I want to do spaces. When I go on to spaces, I listen that all of the accent, there's non-Asian accent to it. And I'd be like, all right, let me be that first person to have that Asian accent. So I started doing spaces every day, 365 days for 1 year. And I got to meet, some of the partners, and we'd be like, hey, do you guys need an Asian partner? And from there onwards, we went into helping Rock Radio and also Decrypt to expand into Asia. And it's been 3 years. We expanded to 7 teams across Asia. And right now we help some of the top brands like Uniswap, Avex, Say, and all of these brands to do content creation in multiple language. So that's really the story of how I started Pukecast.
Okay, I want to keep this moving forward on you. To get to where we're at, we didn't have this clear path, this journey where it's just straight up success, no downfalls. I would love to hear in the audience, I'm sure, what was your moments of cringe, the moments where you're trying to build something out of nothing and it's not working, or you're getting a lot of flack or failure. Like, if it's okay, I would love to hear some of these stories or moments of, damn, this sucks, bro. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
please.
I think that's a super valid question, because before this, I have never thought that I would be a content creator in my life.
Okay.
Why? Because I hate taking pictures.
You hate taking pictures?
Yeah, I hate taking
Isn't that
pictures.
the craziest thing? We were just talking about this, how we don't like being these types of people, but we are these people now, right?
So first of all, I hate taking pictures, and I spent about 6 years of my life studying mechanical engineer. I went and worked for Shell in a power plant, doing all of this mechanical stuff.
That's crazy.
And all of a sudden, I think it was during COVID hit. And during that time, I'd be like, all right, I need to do something different, because jobs are getting cut. And I was like, all right, what is the easiest way for me to be less cringe? And during that time, it was spaces, right? Because first of all, it's just you speaking.
Yep,
People no face, people
Yep.
don't look at you. And if you go on to do a mistake, nobody know how you look like,
True.
right? Because
Yep.
I was using a PFP, my name was Puke Rainbow, like, what the heck is Puke Rainbow, right?
Yep.
And so I think that was the first phase of me creating content in the I would say the most basic way of creating content. And once I did that, I think behind the stage I told you, right? To just calm myself down, I would just have a glass of beer each time.
I'm with you. I literally had wine right before coming up here. Yeah, for
just
sure.
to, get into the mood. But I think I realized after 1 year of, doing spaces, then it's like, okay, now I'm comfortable in doing this. So what's next? And then it's like more pictures, more videos, and stuff like that. So that was the first hurdle for me to overcome. How about you, bro?
Oh man, yours sounds like a walk in the park, bro. I was an athlete for almost 20 years, and I was all in on being a pro athlete. So training, rehab, film study. I was the typical sports athlete, all in. Nothing else matters. No business experience, no networking. I'm just tunnel vision on being this pro athlete. Right? So near the end of my career, like the last 5 years of my career, I was still playing, but I was transitioning already into the business world because I knew my time was up as an athlete. So I just figured as an overlap, hey, I should start getting into the next chapter.
Okay, I got to cut you right there because
Sure.
I feel like studying, for example, engineering and then not doing engineering, I feel like it's very easy to make the switch. But being a pro athlete, when you are at that stage, the mindset is, this is what I want to do at the highest level, right? Because I have friends who, for example, he was racing in F3 and couldn't get into F2, and it take about, maybe 2-3 years to change that mindset.
It's
but
tough.
how easy for you to be, hey, I want to be this basketball guy, and all of a sudden now you got to make the switch into the business world?
It was very difficult. I had so many cringy, I effed up, I embarrassed myself, I ruined business relationships because of my lack of knowledge, lack of terminology, lack of experience. But to be honest though, this sounds like a motivational speech, like Tony Robbins. Anything you want to apply yourself to in the very beginning, you're going to suck at it, and you're not going to know what to do, and you got to go through that process of, I got to get better. I got to go through the pain, the suffering, the tension to be successful, right? So I knew that. So I was ready for the cringe. But my weird, cringy moment, I still remember 2021, metaverse, NFTs were going crazy. My wife, I was in the province, in this small provincial province down south here in the Philippines. She just told me she's pregnant. I'm an aging basketball athlete at this point. I'm like 37, 36 at the time. And I'm giving PowerPoint presentation pitches to like CyberKongs and Sandbox and Gala of why they should hire me because I'm famous. That was it. Like, I didn't know what other value I could give other than, hey guys, I'm a famous person in the Philippines. please put me on your team. Here's my corny PowerPoint presentation. Mind you, we didn't have AI or any of that stuff to kind of streamline and make it pretty. It was just the most raw, cringy thing. And I still remember talking to the CyberKongs folks, and it was a big group call, and they were literally laughing at me as I was trying to pitch my presentation. Like, they were literally like, bro, this is the guy I'm telling you about. This is the dude, like, this guy's crazy. And I still remember that so vividly, like, wife is pregnant, PowerPoint presentation, CyberKong NFT projects are laughing at me. And that was kind of just like, oh man, this sucks, bro. Like, damn it. I gotta keep pushing, right?
Yeah, I think it's great that we share, because everyone that, first off, you don't born and be like, oh, I'm a content creator, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that first hurdle where you feel cringy, but you have the courage to do it because you just know like the other side is better. So once we transition into becoming content creator, we talk about this, right? I think working with brands is where the content creator starts getting paid. Yep. So it's like sponsorship deals. It's like, you know, where you see value to it. Yep. So I believe here, you know, a lot of people has already started their content creation journey.
Yep,
but the next big thing is you are as big as the deal that that they provide to you, right? Because you want to sign that, you know, that 6-figure deal.
Sure.
But before that, you need to sign or do the small ones. So could you share your first brand deal experience and how did it, you know, grew into something larger?
Okay, sure. Man, great questions, bro. I got to put this right back on you, man. Okay, so my big aha moment. Let's just stick with why we're all here, about the crypto, the metaverse, Web3, you know. We have an exchange here. It's one of the largest centralized local exchanges here, CoinsPH. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about this. So I cold pitched these guys that I should be your head-facing product, your main ambassador. I will be the spearhead of everything you guys are doing. And I had to have like a meeting with like 6 or 7 of these people on a Google call, and I had to convince them that I'm worthy, I got skin in the game, I'm an enthusiast, I'm not just an artista that just wants to collect a check. So I knew that I was battling up against these high-profile people, so I knew that I gotta make sure that I'm cheap, and I gotta make sure that I over-deliver on whatever that I'm offering them. So at the end of the day, I closed the deal. They give it to me, but it was like at a penny compared to the other people that were all trying to get this gig. And you know, I had my own crypto show. We had my own NFT video. And from that point on, even though I didn't make much money off of it, but the status, the notoriety, I knew that was very valuable. I understood that if I can close this deal, that maybe 10 more deals are gonna open up for me. So even though I'm not making much out of it, I'm gonna make sure I over-deliver, I make the craziest content, and I just got to make sure it all works. And obviously it worked, opened up 100 doors for me just from that one opportunity, and then off to the races. Now, I'm gonna put this back on you. What was your one moment in crypto where that was the turning point that changed a lot for you?
Yep. I think for me is the first year when I was doing spaces, I know that, first of all, you know, nobody know my brand. Nobody also hear my voice before, right? So the first year, what I did was every spaces that I run, it was free of charge. Just because I want to.
Always has to be free in the beginning.
So it's just for you to, you know, make the connection, get people to know you and stuff like that. So first year was free. And then when it comes to the second year, the first deal was actually from Animoca brands, right?
Nice.
So it's because during that time, you know, everyone, like I said, I'm finding my niche is the Asian voice. And so I'm that Asian guy that does spaces every single day. And I get to know them, and during that time, it's like, all right, would you like to host spaces for me? And I was like, okay. And it's like, all right, we're gonna give you during that time, even I did not ask for any price, but they'd be like, all right, we like your service, we wanna, you know, sign you on as an ambassador, send you a Mochaverse. And during that time, Mochaverse was like 3 ETH. So like for 3 ETH in Malaysia, it's like 12K. In Malaysia ringgit, it's like
that's a lot.
if you come to Malaysia, our famous car is called Myvi. right? And it's equivalent to one Myvi. And I was like, holy shit, just one deal itself, it's like a car in Malaysia. And that's where I realized that, okay, you don't really need to, charge. You can go up in prices, but the most important thing is you need to find, I would say, your niche first, and then the clients that appreciate you. So obviously, I think Web3 and Web2 works differently. Web2, you get paid, and then you do task A to Z. But for Web3, you got to do it free first, and when people value you with the right person, that's where they're going to pay you more times.
That's correct, man. I know we don't have much time here. Please let me just follow up on this question. So after you do everything for free, you over-deliver, you lock in this relationship. And a lot of these relationship brand deals, it's like you're married, and you gotta really put in work to your partner, your relation, or your girlfriend or boyfriend. It really is the same in terms of the effort you gotta put in. My thing I'm trying to get to is how do you transition next from doing it for free to getting to the point where you're earning and you're trying to retain this brand deal with them? Like, how do you keep that going? Because that's the hard part, to keep it going, to make it a year or a 2-year relationship. How do you go about that process?
Yep. So I think during that time, because traveling in Asia is pretty cheap compared to traveling overseas. And so Asian companies, especially Mochaverse during that time, they actively, before TGE, and it was, they wanted to do like the Asia tour. And so it's from Singapore to Hong Kong to Thailand and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, since I'm already hosting the main AMAs, the community already know my voice. What if I fly to all of those events and record all of the fun moments for your event? So that was kind of like the first upsell that I did it. And so that's how, slowly increasing from just not doing spaces, but doing videos to covering in real life events and stuff. So I think like end of the day, really it's about, you providing one service, and then after that, you think of what other ways that I could supplement to the company where it's a win-win situation for both of us.
Damn, that's fire alpha, bro. Please, I love picking your brain, so I want to just ask one more question, if I may. I'm sure people watching online, or the people here in the audience, as an aspiring content creator, whether you're starting from scratch, maybe you're in the middle of your journey, what type of advice would you like to push out right now to the audience, to the people online watching, how to be a content creator, how to get brand deals? I would love some input on that.
Yeah, I think like the easiest way, or I would say from our community that we advise them and they get started and they grow really big, is first thing is to find what sort of content you want to do. So it can be video, it can be audio, it can be written content. The next one is really in Web3 especially, find the next thing that you have conviction on. So I see, for example, the last 2 months, people who have been crushing on the base app, as a content creator, their account blew, right? Because that is going to be the next narrative of creator coins and stuff like that. So for me, it's these 2 things: find what you're good at, and then the next thing is hop into like an ecosystem that you have conviction on, and be the loudest person in that particular ecosystem.
I love it.
How about you? One final advice before we wrap things up.
Is that okay? One more little thing? Okay. You provided great alpha. I don't want to be an echo chamber and say the same thing. I agree with you 100%. I'm going to keep it simple. You guys, no one cares, really. Ultimately, I don't want to get too deep on the galaxy stuff, but we're just a speck in the grand scheme of things. So if you feel cringe and you're shy and you don't want to put yourself out there and be exposed to people's opinions, no one cares. I promise you. I don't care. I'm sure he doesn't care too. No one cares. And so you get past that, be authentic, be yourself. There are so many people in this world that there is going to be a community that wants to vibe with you as the person. The things that you talk about, there is going to be a tribe and people that want to follow you. Now, working brand deals, I know that's a whole nother realm, and that's a different beast in itself. But at the end of the day, you got to go through the meat grinder. You gotta make mistakes. You gotta fall flat on your face and look stupid for 2 weeks. And people, they might talk about it. Maybe they won't. But I promise you at the end of the day, no one cares. So the faster you can just put yourself out there, make 1,000 mistakes, you're going to be successful 365 days from now. That's the biggest MO I could give. But I think we're running out of time, though.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So we would love to talk more. We're talkers naturally. We have podcasts, and we're in the media industry. But thank you guys for listening. We appreciate your time and energy. And where can everyone find you at?
At Pukecast. Pukecast.
Awesome. You guys can find me at Daredevil Media, Agent Daredevil. But thank you guys for your time, and have a great rest of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Puke Rainbow. Thank you, Jared. Before we continue,